Real, authentic flavors unique to Singapore can be surprisingly challenging to find, especially in a small city like Adelaide where I live. Come along with me as I explain why. And we pay a visit to this tiny eatery which serves as a go-to for us craving for that little taste of motherland.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
G'day guys, and welcome back to my video. In this episode, I'm driving almost an hour from the town where I live towards some comforting and nostalgic invoking culinary experience. So let's head to Live Ryan to see what is this all about.
Good day everyone, that's right, I will drive for food. So I've come a pretty long way, so I've driven about an hour from where I live up north into Adelaide because I'm really craving for some Singaporean cuisine tonight. So behind me is this restaurant called 5 Stones, and it's a pretty long drive for some Singaporean fare, so let's do this.
Everybody just do your thing.
To truly understand Singaporean cuisine, we must first dive into its history, where the country is situated. This region was governed by powerful colonial rulers who were heavily involved in spice trading during the 1800s, as the bountiful lands of Asia began feeding the insatiable appetites of the Europeans for exotic spices. As Singapore's port became prominent during that time, commerce began to flourish, and with very heavy migration into this region, mainly from China and India, soon began to shape the colourful traditional cultural heritage we've all come to take for granted today. As migrants flowed into the region, bringing with them their unique culinary backgrounds, mixed in together with the flourishing spice trade and local indigenous ingredients, this region presents some of the world's most colourful underpinnings for food exploration and the sort of complex flavour profiles dating back literally hundreds of years. Many people misunderstand Malaysian cuisine as Singaporean. While there are many overlaps because of our cultural similarities, there are certain distinctive differences which this little cafe will show us tonight. So without further ado, it's time to walk in through the doors to begin this dining experience. The name of this restaurant is a hark back to an era before iPads. Wait, a time before computers. My parents and older cousins would play 5 stones, where a player throws all 5 on the ground, picks up 1 stone, throws it in the air, while catching the one on the ground, then catches the first stone with the same hand. There are several stages to go through, and while I've never personally played this game, I've always wondered why my cousins were carrying these little bags of sand. Those were simpler times indeed. The best way to describe 5 stones is cozy. So make sure you call to book because they can fill up pretty quickly. It's run by a husband and wife team, and they've been around for as long as I lived here. Time flies. Can't believe I've been here for over a decade. Whatever it is, my hunger tonight has reached insane levels. So let's start eating already. I like cafes with a small menu because it normally means the kitchen isn't overwhelmed trying to put together 1,000,001 dishes. So the menu at 5 Stones is simple, and the owners have cleverly included evergreen favorites to satisfy desperately deprived overseas Singaporeans like me, who despite being happily settled in Australia and have no desire to return, still longingly crave for the nostalgic taste of motherland. We begin with the first uniquely Singaporean dish, which is Singapore Hokkien Mee. It simply means Hokkien noodles, and the name Singapore is put in front to differentiate this from the Malaysian version, the KL Hokkien Mee, which looks vastly different. This dish has the egg noodles and rice vermicelli cooked in a flavorful broth made from 1,000,000 prawn heads. So it's rich in that sweet, sinful, seafoodish, heavy crustacean undertones, with a generous dash of garlic to tie everything together. The stock is reduced to the point it becomes a gravy-like consistency, which coats the noodles, ensuring you taste every inch of this delicious, comforting plate of heaven. It normally has pieces of vein-clogging, crispy pork lard thrown into it, so it's not something to have when you're on a diet. Absolutely mouth-watering. No matter which culture you're from, deep-fried chicken wings is everything. In Singapore, we have this one called ha chiang kai. In Cantonese, it means shrimp paste chicken. The marinade has been mixed with a fermented, funky shrimp paste, which gives it this unique, powerful sensation of an umami overload. I can only best describe this as a taste of intense, sharp saltiness, which is uniquely Singaporean. And this dish can be found in every Singapore hawker centre imaginable. There's something about digging into a hot, crispy, deep-fried chicken wing with your fingers, which makes me feel like a kid again. All pretense about behaving at the table goes out of the window. Forgive me, because it was really a challenge trying to film this with my phone and balancing the delicious chicken with my other hand. This was most delicious, and I'm glad I can enjoy this in the midst of winter down under, instead of the sticky humidity of a hawker centre in Singapore. The next dish is hor fun, which in Cantonese translates into river noodles. Flat white rice noodles flash fried over the wok in extremely high heat, where the flames enter the wok to give it a very distinctive smoky char undertone. This smoky flavour is known as wok-hei. In Cantonese, that means breath of the wok. A rich, starchy gravy of stock has been created by the remnants of the wok after the noodles have been removed, gives it another layer of flavour, which is then poured over the noodles. Tonight, we're having this hor fun with seafood. It's a very hearty dish, which is perfect for tonight's chilly weather. The next dish, once again, has its roots in Cantonese cooking, called sang mi. Egg noodles which has been deep fried to the point it becomes like a crispy cracker. The gravy and ingredients poured on top are similar to the hor fun earlier on, but this crispy noodle will soon become soggy from being soaked in that luscious gravy. So the crispy soggy noodle isn't just coated, but it's also absorbed the flavorful gravy like a sponge. So this is definitely a very unique way, texture-wise, to enjoy noodles. Imagine having a piece of potato crisp. Let it sit in gravy until it becomes all floppy. Then chuck it in your mouth in all its yummy glory. Same principle. In winter, having a hot pot of bubbling bean curd is definitely very fitting. Sabo tofu is strangely very popular in the sultry moist of Singapore's humidity, and it's most common in hawker centres eaten together with plain rice. But this dish is just a filler for the final piece de resistance coming up next. The Malaysian curry laksa is as common as an Aussie meat pie. You can find it anywhere in Australia, as long as there is a Chinatown. What you cannot find, however, is this elusive Singapore laksa, specifically Singapore Katong laksa. Dried shrimp is a very important ingredient to the paste, which is made of the usual herbs and aromatics like galangal, chili, shallots, garlic, candlenut, and so on. The actual broth is made from prawn heads, and coconut milk is added at the end to enrich this umami flavor bomb of a dish. The chili kick, oh my goodness! It's enough to open up your pores. And for me, a sign which I'm enjoying this laksa is my bloody dripping nose, which is a cue for me to pause this footage because no one wants to see me looking all disgusting with my nostrils flowing like a tap. Lots of tissues were used tonight, just saying. So there we have it, Singapore cuisine. At least in Adelaide, there are only two which are truly Singaporean. Tonight, I've shown you 5 stones, and the other one is Katong House, which has some similar menu items, but also has some other dishes which isn't found here. While most of us can make do with a Malaysian eatery, there are some dishes which are so uniquely Singaporean, there's just no substitute. If you're ever in Adelaide, give these 2 restaurants a try. And no, you'll never ever see Singapore Fried Noodles on either of their menus. And with that, let's draw this video to a close and join live Ryan outside to wrap things up.
So guys, and that was 5 stones for you right here in Adelaide. If you want an authentic Singaporean fare, this is really a great place to come to. So yeah, thumbs up as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so don't forget to hit me up there, chuck me a follow, so you can actually see what am I doing in real time. So remember, if you want true, authentic Singaporean fare, this is the place to come to. And I'll see you for my next video, yeah? Bye!